The Arty 84 Show.
All right, what's going on, everybody? It's the 84 show live here this Monday, July 8th, 2024, episode 243. If you're seeing me here, then it's definitely either Friday or Monday. And I hope you guys, and it's definitely not Friday, I'll tell you that much. And I hope all you guys out there are having a great Monday. I do know sometimes you have a case of a Mondays. Here I am broadcasting live from the outside studio here in my Massachusetts studio. It is a balmy. Right, it says 95.7 degrees out right now. So it's happy hour. Hope you guys are enjoying a nice beverage as well as we conclude this day. But it is a hell of a hot day here in Massachusetts. In the middle of a heat wave, if you will. But nevertheless, I hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July. Now the 4th of July is over. That means summer is officially over. And that goes without saying. Usually that's the case. Usually when it's 4th of July, comes and goes, all the anticipation leading to it basically makes it over now. So just confirming we are live on Facebook. We are live on Facebook. This show comes twice a week for you, just so you know. Twice a week, every Monday and Friday at 4:30 for the happy hour. And you can, of course, get us anytime you like on YouTube, Podbean, anywhere you get your podcasts and videos of such. So cheers to a Monday in the books. Also, cheers for a hell of a 4th of July. I hope you all had a nice long weekend. It worked out good this year. 4th of July fell on a Thursday. A lot of companies will give you a Friday off where you take a nice little personal day, take a 4-day weekend. Typically on the 3rd, you're getting a half day anyway, so you're getting 4.5 days off in the middle of the summer, which is never a bad thing. So hope you all enjoyed yourselves. I don't know what we want to talk about. I had a few things on my list. We went to New York City for 4th of July weekend. We basically we left on Friday the 5th in the morning. I made our way down. We only spent one day in the city. We actually went to Connecticut, Stamford. That is, stayed a couple nights there. Took the Metro North in on Saturday. Went to the Yankee Sox game. Our family's streak has continued for losing. We have only won one game so far this year. We've been to 6 away games, and only one we lost Seattle. We lost Anaheim. We actually no 5 away games. I'm sorry. We lost Seattle. We lost Anaheim. We lost Baltimore, and we lost New York, and we won in Oakland. So we are 1-4 on the road. We have one more away game left for the season. I think we're split so far at Fenway for wins and losses this year. So we're not bad at home, terrible on the road. So, and of course, the Yankees win on Friday. Red Sox win on Friday, a nice comeback in the 10th. Get their ass kicked on Saturday, the game where we're at. And then they have a nice dominant day on Sunday night. So what are you going to do, you know? But I want to talk a little bit about New York, just roughly a little bit. And what the anticipation was going into the city and what the reality was going into the city. Now, of course, you watch the news, you see a lot of things, and one would be apprehensive to go into the city knowing all the stuff that's going on and stuff you see on TV. But I would caution everyone out there, and this happened, the same thing, we were in San Francisco as well. We went inside the city, we walked around, and what we seen wasn't exactly what the media shows. And of course, that's only really one side of the media, right? At the end of the day. So planning on going to New York, we were going to stay in Manhattan for a couple of nights. Price was an issue. Also, the thought of safety was also kind of concerning for us as well. We were kind of concerned about staying in town, mainly because of all the things we see on TV and everything, and we didn't know how safe it exactly was. I felt that a 1 o'clock Yankees game was not that much of a dangerous adventure, since there'd be a lot of Yankee fans, a lot of Red Sox fans there. Typically, people that don't really put up a bullshit. If something was going on, these are the people that would kind of nip it in the bud. So a tough crowd, if you will. So I felt confident going to the game. We took the Metro North End, which was fine, no issues at all. We got to Grand Central Station, no issues in there at all. It was fine. It was just regular day as business. I've never seen anything that I hadn't seen before. We took the 4 train up to the Bronx. Um, Other than a few characters that you typically see on the train, there's nothing really out of the ordinary. You didn't see nearly as much of the craziness as I see in the news, or on TikTok and all that stuff. You get to the game, other than the fact that the New York subway system is so outdated that to get down and up with elevators is tough. We had a stroller. We had like a big ass stroller with the 2 kids in it, and man, oh man, I'll tell you, that thing was to get from the top part of the Yankee Stadium at the 4 train to get down to the street. We actually had to go on the ground temporarily down to where the B and the D train is, then go back up again, and then coming back. The elevator was on the other side. I want to tell you, it was a trek. And then we were planning on getting off at I think like 40 something street, and we jumped the gun a little bit. We got off at 59th, and there was no elevators there, and we had to carry the stroller with the kids in it up 2 flights of stairs to the street level. But other than that, there was no problems, and we walked around. We kind of played it by ear. We had no set time to go home and back to the hotel. And so the game was over at 4:30, 5 o'clock. It was a long game. And we just kind of, we went to Midtown. We had a few spots we wanted to see. We wanted to check out Trump Tower. We wanted to go see Fox News and, obviously just kind of bit bop around, looking for a restaurant to eat. For dinner or late dinner, or early lunch, late dinner. What, that makes no sense. A late lunch, early dinner is what I meant to say. We just Google. We had no idea what we're gonna eat too, and I kind of want to stay from the cliche Times Square restaurants like the Hard Rock and the Applebee's and the Fridays, whatever. We wanted to just kind of find something interesting. So basically, what we did was we I Google brewery restaurants. It's really I like microbrews. I like places that have a lot of options for beer and stuff like that. And we found one called Clinton's Brew House, or Clinton's Tap House, I believe it was called. And Clinton Brew House. It was right off of it was on 30. I think it was 37th. I think, or 47th. It was try to track. We went down to Trump Tower, which was in 37th and 5th. It's like 47th. It was like right in that area. And then we kind of backtracked a little bit. Maybe it was the 36th. I can't remember. But it was between the 40s and the 30s. It was called Tim Hef. You know what it was, let me know. But it was literally right in that area between the 30th and 40th streets. And because I knew the idea was good because we were going to backtrack a little bit because we want to get to Times Square. And then obviously 42nd Street is where Grand Central is. So we're just going to trek back to that. So we stayed out pretty late. We were in the city too. We took the 10:30 train home. We probably would have stayed out later. The kids were getting tired. We were getting tired. We were getting our second win, but by the time we got to the train station, we were kind of like ready to call it a day, It gets exhausting. It was hot. It was one of the hottest days. I'm gonna say I've been in a long time in New York City. It was probably close to I don't know. It was in the 90s at least, 90 degrees, and it was rough. It was tough. So the heat got to us. When it cooled down at night, it probably only got into the 80s, And just having some beers all day, watching the game. We kind of just get a little tired. So we got back to Stanford around 11:30, back to the hotel around midnight. So it was good. We got a nice quality date in. Knowing what I know now, what the city looks like, I probably would stay in the city again if I could find a hotel. I know a lot of them have been taken over, by the migrants, kind of taking a few of those down, and the hotel owners just getting maximum money for them. And it's business is business. I get it. So, but it sucks when you're trying to look for a room. The price to stay downtown to what it was to stay in Stanford was slightly cheaper in Stanford. The biggest difference was the parking. It was $20 to park in Stanford, whereas the cheapest I could see parking in New York City was close to $60, $70 a night. So we would have needed 2 of them. So that would have tacked on an extra $150 onto the trek. We did spend $50 round trip to get in and out of the city with the train. So I guess you do if you do, damned if you don't. The MTA has this new system now. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's a instead of getting a Metro card in the machine, and which I always thought was a waste anyways, because people these paper things people throw away. All you do is you walk up to the turnstile and you scan your card, and it charges you, and then you scan your card on the way out. So I'm not sure if they're setting something up for distance tier train riding, which they have, and I do believe DC, where they charge you for what stop you get onto. So the longer the train ride, the more you pay. And this is kind of a preliminary setup for it, or it's just a way to reduce waste of the Metro cards. So those things are everywhere at the end of the day, right? So, my analysis on New York, I would say, is it obviously have caution when you go to all these major cities, no matter what major city is, and have caution. And basically just make sure you keep your head on a swivel. You don't want to make sure you're not doing anything you're not supposed to. I'm walking around and I felt confident because I see these clearly tourists from out of town, fumbling with their phone, going through their pocketbooks and wallet and stuff. And I'm like sitting there shaking my head. I'm like, you guys are looking to be a target right now, always keep your wallet and your phone in your front pocket, cash there, minimum, taking out your phone and stuff. Always have your head in a swizzle, a swizzle. Don't carry a bag with you. Anything that could be ripped off of you. Don't wear flashy jewelry. This is all stuff basically you should do anyway when you're in a major city, depending on where you are, New York City or Boston or anything of that nature. So just keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to go see it. Baseball game is completely fine. There was no issues. I do caution if you go to Yankee Stadium, if there's something new. I haven't been to Yankee Stadium in 6 years, but the security line is quite long now. It seemed like they were only letting people in gate 6 right in the main gate, and they had a TSA style kind of security lineup set up. So we only spent maybe like, I don't know, probably 10 minutes in line to get through. They were pretty fast. And as a Red Sox fan, it kills me to say this, but Yankee Stadium, everyone there was so hospitable, hospitable, hospital, hospitable. I can't say that word, but they were great. How's that sound? They were very great in New York City. The customer service people were great. When they took our stroller for us, people in security were funny. They were having a good time. Everyone was just having some friendly back and forth. Of course, there's a rivalry between the Red Sox and the Yankees, and there always will be. But it was a friendly banter. Everyone was having good conversations. There was no assholes in the crowd, no assholes. It was just a good day in the stadium, and I like that. It was good for the kids. They had a good time, and obviously playoff time, things get a little heated, and it's sports at the end of the day, right? People just having a good time. You have your team, I have my team. We're there together. Let's enjoy it. Red Sox lost. Not the end of the world. A little pissed, but what are you gonna do? And I'm sure the Yankees fans felt the same way the day before and the day after when the Red Sox beat them. So, but Yankee Stadium has the Bears the same price as both Fenway. It was like $40 for a couple beers, but they gave us 25 ounces where Fenway only gives you like the 20 ounces. So you get a little more beer for your buck there. Yankee Stadium also has this souvenir popcorn bin you buy. You get this big ass popcorn. I don't know how much it was. It was probably $20, but unlimited refills to the seventh inning. We filled it up 4 times. So, $5 of popcorn, pretty damn good. And you get to bring home this cool little popcorn bin, which is one of my few Yankee items that I keep, in my sports collection. We're in the process of building a sports museum in our basement of all my collectibles over the last, 30 somewhat years of traveling sports events. As you know, I've been to every baseball stadium, been to 30 minor league baseball stadiums and other stadiums as it is. But at the end of the day, it's cool. So I have very limited Yankee stuff in the collection, but what are you gonna do? We got Danny Kalberg is watching. He said follow. I'm not sure what he's following. He says look up. Apparently it's his fan page. We'll check it out for you. How's that? I just did it for you, Danny. How you like those apples? Make sure you follow the DJ Arty 84 comedy page too. And if you have YouTube, just go to DJ Arty 84 comedy on YouTube and subscribe. We need subscribers. That's what the key is right there. You can watch these episodes over and over again. So enough about baseball, enough about the 4th of July weekend. Another thing that brought to my attention is that a lot of you know I do bartend a few nights a week as well. And I bartend in a hotel and working on a book called Behind Bars, Stories of Bartending Life over the last 20 years. And one of the number one questions I get a lot is about a happy hour situation, a drink situation. Um, and it's funny because there's a map that I just brought up right here. It talks about what happy hour is and what states allow happy hour, 2 for 1s. Now, Massachusetts is a very strict alcohol related state. And for years, one of the questions I have to tell people when it comes to the bar around the state, we get a lot of flight crews and stuff and a lot of tourists, is about happy hour, no 2 for 1s, no discount alcohol, none of this stuff. So out of curiosity today, I wanted to talk about it a little bit. So there's this map I found it's called on vinepeer.com, and it shows happy hour laws in every state. So um, happy hour stores in every. So illegal is basically there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 states, 8 states in the nation that the idea of happy hour is illegal. It's Alaska, Indiana, Massachusetts, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, Utah, and Vermont. The Massachusetts story is a unique one. They got rid of happy hour in 1983, December of 83. There was a tragic car accident that resulted to a drunk driving incident that was related to a happy hour incident, I guess, right? It also might have done that the governor of the state's wife was a raging alcoholic, and he also was trying to make a run for the presidency in a few years. So we still think that might have a little bit of to do with it. But, regardless, that's the case. Some other states that have the next restriction has limits on price reductions and all you can drink specials. Okay, so I guess it's kind of a happy hour, but they restrict a little bit. Those states would be Arkansas, Delaware, Kansas, New Mexico, New York, South Carolina, Tennessee, Washington State, Connecticut, Hawaii, Maine, Michigan, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Jersey, and Virginia. I'm not quite sure what that means because I had happy hour in New Hampshire and Maine before. States that limits the price reductions and all you can drink specials. So I think that puts a limitation on what you can do. I don't probably you're limited to an X amount of beers you can put on a happy hour, drinks you put on a happy hour, and it's priced like that. So it gives you a little more flexibility, but doesn't make it outlawed altogether, which is interesting. States that restrictions on duration of time of day. All right, so this is a little bit different. This is probably in regards to what time of day you can't have happy hour and what days to time of days you can. So judging by this list, Illinois, Alabama, Louisiana, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Texas, and Virginia, states with restrictions on duration or time of day. So this seems like something you can easily get around with because I've been to Louisiana a lot, and especially down in the French district, the French Quarter rather. A lot of those bars offer 2 for 1s all day long. So maybe it's region by region. Maybe each district or county can restrict it themselves. I really don't know what that means. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. It's not really different than anything else. But especially in Louisiana. So New Orleans must have a pass on this because I've never seen any alcohol restriction. I mean, for crying out loud, you can go to a drive-in daiquiri store in Louisiana. You know what I mean? So maybe it's per parish in Louisiana. Maybe that's what the case of the situation. But excuse me, a little burpee today. This happy hour was getting to me quick. And of course, we have states that do not have any restrictions on happy hour at all. This would be Arizona, California, Colorado. California surprised me a little bit. Georgia, it was also surprising me. Idaho, Iowa, Kentucky surprises me. Maryland, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nevada, North Dakota, South Dakota, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming, and Washington, D.C. So I was just when I was in Connecticut, we went to this bar. It was called Vine and Hop Tap Room in Stamford. And I guess there's another one in California. But basically, you go in and you give them your credit card, and they give you this card that looks like show you like this kind of card, like a hotel room key, and your credit card's attached to this thing. And you go up to this wall, and you want to see this on cruise ships. They have wine, ciders, and beer options. And what you do is you tap the card on there on the little sensor for 3 seconds on what beer you want, and you pull the handle down, and it charges you per ounce. Some beers are like 10 cents per ounce. What was it? Like $1 per ounce, maybe, 89 cents per ounce. We got out there pretty cheap because, in case if you don't want a full beer, you just want a half, or you just want to try, you can do your own flights. We did my own flights. You might see my pictures on the Wicked Explorers website. We did that, or if you follow me on Untapped, DJ ID 84. Oh, I think it's just ID 84. And one of the other. It's either DJ ID 4 or ID 84 on tap. So I made my own flight. You could try all this. I could try all the beers over there. It would just cost you like, a dollar or two an ounce and stuff. It was really, really, really cool. And they just let you go pour as much as you want. And there always no one's. I guess if you start acting a little crazy, someone's gonna go there. There's someone kind of watching you, but not really. And there was also an upstairs I wish I'd checked out because I want to see if they had some options up there. But nevertheless, the only other place I seen something similar to this was in Georgia, in Atlanta. There's a restaurant. You sit at a table, and there was 4 taps on every table. But the problem was every table had different beers, so you had to kind of be married to those 4 beers on tap there. And there was obviously like a little gauge, and there's almost like a meter, and they would charge you per what you use. A similar thing. This was all electronic in this place in Connecticut, but it was great. We had a good time. We could have a few beers. If you want a bunch of the same, if you want one of the only, a bunch of different ones, that was possible too. It was a really, really cool setup they did. It was really, really cool. But and it was nice. If you haven't been to downtown Stamford in a while, I do suggest you do check it out. I thought it was pretty cool. I haven't been to Stamford since 2005. It's almost 20 years now, and it was okay when I was down there. They had the downtown area, it was cool, but where the mall is, they kind of revitalized that area and put a lot of outdoor restaurants and shops around there. The hotel we were at was an older hotel, it was an older Marriott, but it seems like it's in the process of being kind of redone to make up, to match up to the standard of the rest of the area. All these rundown houses and stuff, they were knocked down. These big apartment complexes are being built, which makes sense. You're like a 45-minute to an hour to Midtown New York. Why would you live in New York when you can live in Connecticut for cheaper? And just commute back and forth by the train. And the Metro North is great. It runs every 45 minutes, so you can't miss a train. It's not like the commuter rail in Massachusetts, which runs every hour to maybe 2.5 hours, and then stops at 11, doesn't run again until 6. So if you're stuck in the city, you're screwed, which is something Massachusetts got to get this shit together. It's so concerned about drunk driving in the state, but they run their MDTA, they cut it off at midnight, and their commuter rails get cut off at like 11:30, and bars will serve till 2. You got to get with it. I don't understand the problem. I don't understand why you can't run these trains all night long. Crying money, but where's the money going? Why is the fares going up and nothing's happening? Why do the train stations look exactly the same? Why do you get federal money from the government to update your MBTA system or your transit system and nothing gets fixed? So one station gets fixed. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Where's it going? Like, it's Massachusetts for you. Everything half backwards, half backwards. That could be a whole different story for another day, too. But I love Boston. I do. I just can't understand the amount of corruption that's in the state and the amount of idiots that still vote for these corrupt. The problem is Massachusetts, the people that, if we had everyone vote in the state, every single person come out and vote, Republican, Democrat, Independent, elections would be completely different. The problem is there are so many independents and Republicans in Massachusetts. There's a lot of us here. People just don't realize it, but there are a lot of us here. The reason a lot of us don't vote, and not myself, I vote every election, but a lot of people, the reason these independents and Republicans do not vote in a Massachusetts election is because they feel that they're going to lose anyways, because the state always goes blues. The representatives are always blue, the senators are always blue, and that's going to change. You got to get this newer generation of kids have to realize that every vote counts, regardless if you're in a blue state or not. And if you vote enough times and you are an independent or Republican, you will see a difference as time will go on. We have a giant situation going on in this country right now, a giant situation, and it's going to change drastically. And the situation is baby boomers are starting to retire like crazy. So the first year of a baby boomer, I think the first year of baby booming is, I want to say 45. Let's see, baby boomer age. So if you're a baby boomer, you're born between 1954 and we'll call it boomers 2. So 1946 and 1964, okay? Now, these people are retiring like crazy. So you're anywhere between the ages of 60 and 78 right now. You're either already been retired or you're in the process of retiring. My father, he was born in 57, and he is in part of the boomers 2 beginning portion of that, and he is retiring this year, okay? Now, with that said, a lot of these baby boomers are Democrats. And the reason they are is because the Democratic Party at one point was very favorable to boomers, hardworking Americans. A lot of these people work blue collar jobs, some have white collar jobs, some of them, a lot of them own their own businesses. You know, the model of, if you will, the Kennedy Democrat, which, if that was still the model to this day, that would be somewhere I'd fall into. A hardworking, someone who owns their own business, someone who does, puts into the system their entire lives, a union worker. This is what Kennedy and what Democrats used to represent in the 50s and the 60s. And then at some point, and I can tell you where it started with Johnson, with his changing the whole system of pretty much kicking the middle class out of the club and taking in lower class and the very high upper class. Upper class supports the money and they get paid off, yada yada yada. And the lower class, let's keep them, needing more, so they have to vote for us. And if they're afraid not to vote for us, because if they don't vote for us, then basically they're going to lose all the benefits, which is not going to happen regardless. They think they've been saying this for 60 years and somehow it's working. So, but it's not the case. A Republican comes in is not going to say one day, all right, all these benefits are gone. There might be restrictions. There might be systematically, what I'm trying to say, a rework of the system is basically what I'm trying to say. So people aren't abusing the system. But other than that, you're not going to cut people off who need benefits. It's not going to happen, regardless, no matter who. But they think they are. And they try to scare you with all these things. It's not going to happen. It would take an act of Congress, literally an act of Congress, to get it done. It's not going to happen. There's way too many people that need benefits and need help. All right? It's just not going to happen. Nevertheless, we'll leave it at that. The dogs are getting all rowdy too. But it's okay. Stay over there. We'll let the doggies out. Let's let the dogs out. Let's say we'll go. Hold on one sec. We're gonna let the dogs out. All right. Who let the dogs out? I let the dogs out right there. So yeah. So if that said, with the amount of baby boomers retiring, and not to mention, I hate to say it, but dying off essentially in the next 10 to 20 years, a large portion of people that vote Democrat are these people, and they vote. They don't vote because they pay attention to the news and they have any beneficial for anything. They vote because this is what they always voted for, and they don't have enough time or energy or give a crap to even look and see what the Democratic Party represents these days. And basically, it's a disservice to them because it's going to hurt them in the long run, especially if they survive and last a while too. So with that said, there is a new generation coming up. So the tide of what people vote for will change essentially, right? So the Democrats, knowing this, are targeting college kids because they figure if they can get them in their head while they're in college and have this mentality while they're students before they go into the real world, and then they would be, you can use the term, brainwashed to vote Democrat because this is what they know, right? This is the theory. This is what a lot of people think, including myself. And the fact that a lot of people are not wanting to go to college anymore. And I got to tell you, I'm not a big supporter of college at all anymore. I went to college. I went 7 years in college, got several degrees, and spent a lot of money. And I will tell you, it's for the birds. I think I would have been better off if I just learned a trade and started my own business out of college, to be honest with you. I really do. Maybe some skill levels. There's also a lot of careers that do require college, surgeons, lawyers, stuff of that nature. But at the end of the day, I do believe that the college push that I was indoctrinated in when I was in high school is starting to fade away. Not necessarily a bad thing, but the workforce is very flooded with people who went to college for stupid degrees and don't do anything with them and end up working at Starbucks, right? So stay over there. Yeah. So with that said, we will see some differences coming soon. So, and within the next few election cycles, I believe. So, but what do you think? Let me know what you think. Leave some comments below. We'll be back Friday for a happy hour Friday edition. We got a few things to talk about. I want to talk about baseball scheduling. The Bruins schedule came out on July 2nd, and the baseball schedule should be out after the All-Star game, probably in a couple weeks too. So we'll know who and where the Sox. Well, we already know who the Sox are playing because of the new schedule, but we'll find out where and when they're going to be playing it. So, with that said, I hope you guys have a good week. I know it's Monday, one day down, four to go. I'm sure y'all will take it easy in this hot summer day. Hopefully, y'all can stay cool and don't do anything I wouldn't do. And like I said, please subscribe, leave your comments below, and please give it a thumbs up because it helps the algorithm. And I'll see you guys, I guess, next week. Well, we'll see you guys Friday. I'm sorry. And also, if you live in the baseball, please check out my other podcast, The Gull's Nest. Just Google The Gull's Nest on YouTube, on Facebook. I do a weekly show for the Newport Gulls, and that drops every Wednesday. So thank you guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
The Arty 84 Show.